All right, this is JP Raw, show number 174, recorded on the last day of May 31st, 2016. And man, I don't know what it's like up there in where you live in New York, Tim, but it is already getting hot here.
We're actually just started. We were hot. This past weekend was really hot. The morning today was hot, but now it's dropping a little bit. The humidity came down. It's really comfortable outside, and I'm stuck with you. I mean,
well, I took this in my truck while I was waiting in line to get some dinner tonight. 97 degrees at 6 o'clock.
Oh, no.
Now,
That's
was
hot.
in the sun. That was in the sun, so it's probably a little bit hotter than normal. And yes, that is a crack in my windshield. The funny thing is I got that during an ice storm. I need to fix that. But 97 degrees at 6 o'clock in the sun. I think the official high around here was 94. So definitely getting hot around here. I don't really enjoy being out shooting in the heat.
No.
That much. All right, well, tonight we're going to go over a few things that are follow-ups. Or a couple of things that are a few things that are follow-ups, and then do some listener questions. And I sometimes, when it's just Tim and I, say we'll be out of here quicker than an hour, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if that's the case. So first up, I got my D2X.
Yes, I saw that.
And the only visible thing I can show you, and okay, first off, this is the D2X I sent off to LifePixel beginning of May. It took about 15, 20 days, but that includes mailing it out. I think they're in Washington State and mailing it back. Got it converted to standard infrared, the standard infrared filter that they do. And I got it calibrated to this lens, which is a Tokina 12-24 DX. And this is a DX camera. So I have not really been able to shoot with it yet. But one of the things by converting a camera to infrared is I'm going to see if I can do this live here. See if I can do this live. Well, there's not a whole lot of light in here, so I'm not going to be able to demo it very well. But, okay, you heard how fast that click was?
Yes.
Okay, normal infrared, when you're, the image is worthless here, but normal infrared, when you're shooting with a filter, is in bright, sunny daylight, middle of the day, can be, 5 seconds or more exposure. I mean, it's quite a ways when it's good light. So inside like this, it'd just be impossible. Mm-hmm. By converting the camera to infrared, full-time infrared like that, you get normal exposure times, which in here is going to be pretty low. But that is something I can't wait to get out and shoot. So I got it back and be looking for some images from it. The other thing with this one, Tim, is before I did this, I did do the comparison of DX versus FX, using this D2X for the DX shots and my Nikon D700 for the FX, so crop sensor versus full frame.
Right.
You remember that? And I used the same lens, put it on a tripod, and as scientific as Mike is going to get, I took some photos. And if you remember those, let's go back to that real quick. This here was the D2X at 200 millimeters. Okay.
Right.
This one was the D700 at 200 millimeters.
Right. That's the full frame.
Full frame versus crop. So you can see,
Correct.
the 1.5 crop factor makes it closer. Well, I got questioned on the YouTube channel by let's see, Matt Lewis asked, "Hey, that's very interesting. Fun discussion. It would be nice to compare," I'm going to read his question. "Nice to compare the DX camera and a full frame camera with the same framing. For example, shooting a DX at 70 millimeter and FX at 105 millimeter. Well, since I've had this camera converted to infrared, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that comparison anymore. So that's going to be difficult. Good thing is I did that comparison before I sent it off. I just didn't think about including it into images when we did that back on show number 171. So I actually did do exactly what Matt had asked. I just failed to show it during that show. So I'm going to do it now. And it is 70 millimeters for the D2X, the crop sensor, and 105 millimeter for the D700, the full frame. They should result in the exact same framing, but when you look at these two, it'll be a little bit off. So it's not exactly right. I don't know if that's because I got it really at 105.2 or, I don't know. If it may not be exactly right. So when you see it a little bit off, don't. If you want to email me and tell me I screwed up, that's fine. I can't redo it. It is what it is. So first off, I'm going to show you the D2X, the D700. D700 at 105. All right. D700 at 105 millimeter. This is on the 7200 lens at 2.8.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you, and these are very, very close framing, but not exact. The D2X at 70 millimeters. So resulting in the same framing. So if you're trying to take a picture of something or somebody, you're probably trying to achieve a certain type of framing, which is why Matt's question is so good. Because, I would move closer or further back if I have a full frame or crop sensor to get that same framing. So right now is the D700 105 millimeter. This is the D2X 70 millimeter.
Okay.
700 or full frame. I'll just say this: full frame, crop sensor.
Right, and there you could see the background is completely different.
This really shows you that the full frame does give you shallower depth of field. Crop sensor, full frame.
Yeah, you wouldn't even realize it's a fence behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it really blurs it out well. And that's kind of what I was looking for in this test is how much do I lose in that depth of frame? Now, for a sports shooter, having that additional reach of the crop sensor is really nice to have. So you're giving up a little bit on the depth of field if you want a shallower depth of field.
But I wonder what bodies they're using on the sidelines of a game. I'm sure they're using a full frame, but at the same time, they're also using a 600 millimeter f2.8. So they don't need the crop sensor. But I can't afford that $5,000 lens either. So.
That's true. There are more.
Or feel like carrying it.
If you're using a 400 2.8, that's going to be more than $5,000 if you bought it brand new.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, again, this is the full frame at 105. This is the crop sensor at 70 millimeter, resulting in about the same framing.
Yeah, pretty predominant. I mean, that's close enough.
Yeah. So that was a great question by Matt asking us about that. Asking me about that, something I should have brought up.
Foresaw, yeah.
That was a great question. Okay, so next question on that's related to that same show was by Boris. So thanks for the cool discussion. I have been pondering on migrating from an A6000. That sounds like a Sony.
It is.
A6000 to a Nikon system. He's on the right track right there already, Tim.
Yeah, no, I don't understand the question anymore.
Either a used D700 full frame or a new D7200, both can be had for around $1,000. I shoot everything from everything like people, some macro events. Would you still consider D100 a contender? I'm not a pro photographer and I can't afford a D750. So my main camera right now, until I buy something else, is that one wherever it is, right there, is a D700. It's 12 megapixel. So in today's world, it's a little light, but it's still a great camera. It's for me moving from this D2X, and you gotta realize where I'm coming from and to where I'm at. The D2X was horrible on noise, anything above 800. So that D700 is just fantastic. I'm not familiar with the A6000 and what it's like, but I really like the D700. The only reason I'm looking to change is I want the extra megapixel, and the D500 has that 10 frames per second, and I don't know. I'm not in a hurry. So yes, I would still consider the D700 a contender.
Now, the only question I would have is if he has lenses, if he's got the A6000, he's probably got several Sony lenses. That means he'd have to sell everything to switch over to Nikon when he could just get the A7, which all those lenses would work on.
That's a great point. Yep. And Jimmy out there in chat says the Sony Sony A6000 is awesome.
Yeah, and I was just listening to, I think, I want to say it was Leo Laporte was talking about it, and he upgraded, and he's got, who knows how many cameras he has, but he's talking about Sony just came out with the A6300, which is supposed to be a phenomenal replacement to it, but he also has the A7 series, which is the full frame. Now, the only thing I would think is, depending on which lenses he has with the A6000, they may be meant for a crop sensor versus a full frame sensor. So that might be an issue. So if you're looking to go full frame, but if the lenses you have would work with the A7, I would say look at that just to see whether or not it's something that's comparable. Because I think there's a lot of great talking points on the A7 series, and you have the lenses already, and you're used to using it. So.
Yeah, one thing to consider if you're going to be moving from one brand to the other is the lenses, like you said, Tim, is, over time, hopefully you're building yourself a arsenal of different lenses, and that's where your money is really going to be spent and where they're going to last a long time. The bodies, you'll change in and out. Moving from one system, whether it's Canon, Nikon, Sony, or something else, to another system is a big change and not something you should take lightly.
And I think that's a big change over 20 years ago when film cameras were out and it was very slow on the bodies. You'd have a body that would last several years. Now camera manufacturers are probably 2 years, they're replacing the camera bodies. So that's almost the disposable part. It's if you want to take better pictures, invest in the glass. I think there's probably nobody that's going to say you shouldn't do that. That's more important than anything else.
Right. I would agree. So, Boris, we probably confused you even more. We'd love to hear back.
Stay with Sony. Stay with Sony.
We'd love to hear back from you. If one of the things if you want to delve into this question a little bit further, we have a great Facebook group. I'm going to see if I can't find that thing here. Go to facebook.com/groups/JPEG Join that group if you are on Facebook and ask that question out there. And there's a lot of people out there that'll be willing to help you and give you their opinion on what what your options are and what you should be thinking about. All right, next question. Oh no, I got something else. So, Tim, can you see this? What is this?
No, that's the color meter, not meter. What do they call that?
Yeah, and it's Riley brought this up. Yeah, Riley brought this up. Here's what's sad is I didn't even realize he brought it up during the show. Everything okay over there?
No. Guess what he can't find?
Oh, no. Do you need to step away for a second?
No.
Okay.
Nothing I could do at this point.
Somewhere else. I saw this somewhere else online. Somebody else talking about it. And then when I was editing the show from last week, I noticed Riley talked about this right at the end. He didn't show it, but I was watching it somewhere else and I decided to go ahead and get it. I actually used it to calibrate my webcam that's not the one you're seeing, Tim, but the one that we're streaming. So it actually hopefully made my color a little bit better, but it's the X-Rite Colorchecker Passport. And it folds all the way down.
Drops to the ground too.
It folds all the way down to this little thing. It's pretty small. It's definitely something you can carry in your bag.
Right.
And then opens up, and you've got gray card here.
Okay.
And then you've got the colors here. And then you've got more gray or white balance information here for making it either warmer or cooler, whatever way you want to go to. And you use these colors to set up your own color profile for your camera. So it comes with a CD, and I'll probably be doing a video on this later, and there's others out there, and I'm going to show it here in just a second. If you in your Lightroom, you go down at the bottom where it says camera calibration or camera,
right.
And you probably have it set to Adobe Standard or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or if you have a profile for your camera, you may have it set to that. But a lot of us may be using that Adobe Standard. Well, you use this. You take a photo with this in it. I don't know if I have it upside down or whatever. But you take a photo with this in it, and then you use the software that came with it, and it creates a profile for your camera. And you may want to do it at different, like if you're at a gym and shooting at a gym, you may set a color profile for Nikon D700 gym, and then you might do one for Nikon D700 studio. So under different lighting conditions, you set up a different profile, and that way you use that profile when you're under those lighting conditions. Now you wouldn't necessarily say sunset or sunrise, because what you'll do is you'll take away all the gold, the
Right.
golden light out of the picture, and you'll set it back to looking normal. That's the whole point of shooting in that light, is to get that kind of image. But it's really, really handy and really easy to use. You just take a photo with it, even if you're doing landscape. Just stick it out in front of your camera. You're just going to go, hey, here it is out in front of my camera. Boom, take a shot. You do it where the camera could see it. And then you bring that in and set up your color profile that way. I think I have a web page here, and I have the Amazon link.
Yeah, I have it up on Amazon. So is that the one that's for $89?
It is $89, so it's not super cheap, and it's super small. And you got to be careful. I don't want to touch these little profiles very, very much. And like I was kind of handling it before, the more oil you get on,
Right, it could change the colors off a little bit.
Yeah, if you're trying to get colors to be right, you always hear people struggling to get skin tones right. I can't get the skin tones right. I can't get the skin tones right. Using something like this, you would get the skin tones right. So, but you don't want to be manhandling or woman handling, whatever you say, people handling it. Get your oils all over it, because you'll mess it up. And what else? Okay, so this is that, and this guy, I don't know if we want to watch this at all. Is there even audio in this thing? Is this thing playing?
In the Amazon video?
Where's the
I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I think it's playing. I can't hear it, but I think it's playing. All right, I don't want to go over that too much, but that is the color checker. Go to Amazon. We'll have the link to it, and so you can go check it out, and that will help you get white balance. People struggle with white balance all the time. This little device, it's so small.
Yeah, that's size of a passport.
It is. I mean, this is a large phone. This is a Note 5. So this is smaller than that and thinner than that.
Half the thickness, and
yeah. So, and easy to stick in a bag. All right. That is that. All right. Now on to the next listener question. Ready, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
The next question, let's see where I'm at.
If you compress a folder of pictures, does it mess with the resolution or anything with the pictures?
And I think what this person was asking is they're going to use you're going to zip it, compress that folder.
Correct.
Because maybe they have a whole bunch of images in there and they want to bring it down to one file. I would not actually compress a folder of images, whether they're JPEG, TIFF, or RAW. I would not compress them, because I don't know what that compression is going to do to the images. I'm not sure on RAW whether you would get much compression at all. If your whole point of this is to reduce the size, there's better ways to go about it.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, especially with JPEG, you can save them as a lower resolution or lower quality JPEG. But if you just go through and use WinZip to try and compress them further, if you're doing something like a TIFF or a RAW, it may not compress at all, and then it adds its overhead on it, the compression overhead, which may actually make the file size bigger.
Yeah, and I'd be afraid of what it's doing out there, and because now you've lost all control, and then you're probably not going to see it. It's going to go to somebody else, and most people probably aren't going to tell you, "Oh yeah, your picture came in with a lot of artifacts."
Yeah, so there's better alternatives than doing that. That's I would not do that. All right, next question is: I have a wedding. I have a wedding edited and ended up with 1,084 edited files. That's crazy. And they're saying that their largest USB stick is 16 gig, but the 1,000 edited files is 19 gig. And then you're going to do the math on what that is per file, whether that's a good size or a bad size. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems pretty small.
Yeah, for 1,000 images. How would I go about reducing the file size of some of the files, I know they won't print big and make everything else fit on the USB. I would not go that route at all. First off, I have a question why you're giving someone 1,000 edited files and how you could effectively edit 1,000 wedding images. Maybe you can. I don't know. I've not shot a wedding. And I don't know what the standard for giving out wedding photos, but that from what people we've had here on the show, 1,000 seems really, really high.
I would agree, and I can think about all the pictures I take, even when I go away on vacation, and 1,000 photos is hard to justify. Now you're talking about a 4-hour event. I mean, that's
well, if
taking
you
a
shoot
lot
the
of
reception, you could possibly do 10 hours or more. But even with that, it seems like all the wedding photography we had on here, it was 500 or less images.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say for whatever reason you added 1,000 images to your standards, and you want to give the person 1,000 images, but it's 19 gig, and you only have a 16 gig USB stick. Easy solution. Get a bigger USB stick. They're cheap. You can get 32 gig USB sticks really fast, really easy. At any computer store, or Amazon can deliver it in a couple of days, depending on where you live. I would not go the route of trying to lower the quality and file size of those images. I would keep them as high quality as I could, no matter what you think they might print them. Whether you think they might only print them 4x6, you never know. They may give it to somebody else, depending on what your contract is with them. And those people may want to blow them up. So
yeah, I just looked at Micro Center, a 32 gig USB 2.0 flash drive is $699.
Yeah. So there's other options that you can get and solve really quickly. 32 gig, you can get even bigger than that, 64 gig. Don't shrink the file size even further. And I didn't do the math whether you've already shrinked them too far at 19 gig for 1,000 images. That sounds like a lot. And Jimmy says 1,000 is a bunch. Buy a bigger card. Yep, same thing we're saying. Buy a bigger card.
Yeah, I agree. I think for $7 you can get it, because you don't have to get a USB 3.0, because then they're going to use it once to download it. So you don't want to spend the money on it, but you can get a USB 2.0 and save a lot of money on it. And you're right. Why reduce the file size when you're going to get the cards? What is a 16 gig card USB drive versus a 32? $499 versus $699.
Yeah. And hey, if you're going to be doing this on a regular basis, doing weddings and putting out these kind of files, like Tim just said, the price of a 32 gig USB stick is so small. Why not just buy a half dozen of those and have them always handy?
That's what I have. Where is I have Windows installed on. Here we go. Here's all my little drives.
There you go. And so if you're doing this for clients, spending $6 or $10 or $15 on a stick versus $5 on a USB stick, hey, hopefully your margin's not that tight.
Yes.
All right. So before we go to the next question, I have something. This is a once in a lifetime photo, something that you and I will never have the opportunity to shoot.
Okay. Oh boy.
You'll never be able to shoot this, Tim. Hey, did you see the Voyager or whatever it was that went by Pluto?
Yes.
So have you seen the image?
I saw a lot of images, but I haven't seen anything recent come out. So
this is from NASA's website, nasa.gov. I'm just going to scroll through the image real quickly. And yeah, it is kind of choppy because they had to splice it together. But this is Pluto. High-res photos, as high-res as they're letting us see right now. Images from Pluto. Just, those are nitrogen fields right there that we're coming across now. Just absolutely amazing. There's a house.
A house.
Yep. There's a pool. I don't know how, what distance this is. These nitrogen fields are just goes on and on and on and on. There's a lake. On and on and on. I'm just making that up about the lake and houses. There's no houses on Pluto. I think we're about to head into some mountains. I hear the skiing. It's fantastic out there. Yeah, just, I don't know why those are so dark or whatever. But that was just, unbelievable, something you don't see every day. And here we are seeing photos of Pluto from however long it took to get there.
I'm just looking that up as I was saying. In November 2001, it was but when was it launched? When was the launch date? But I know you think about the technology that they used. I mean, and the speed it went flying by the planet. I mean, it went by it. I forgot how many tens of thousands of miles per hour. And it took all these beautiful pictures. And you think about it, this is camera technology from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is really, I mean, you think about it, that's amazing. It's not like what they're creating now that is way beyond what we have. This is stuff that maybe we had 5 years ago because they were probably ahead of us, but still amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how much they were ahead of us. I know at one point, I think I remember hearing, I got to look this up now if I'm going to make this statement, but I remember hearing like they were putting Nikon D2Xs on some of these things and Nikon D2Xs in like red light camera things. So, which is this camera right here, but I thought they were putting like pro level Nikon gear on some of these. I'll have to look that up to see. They might have had a proprietary thing going on for that.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, you wonder.
It launched January 2006.
The next one, it goes even higher resolution and what they're getting there. Just incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
Seeing these images from Pluto. All right, on to the next question, and that is, okay, this is from our JPEG to RAW beginners group on Facebook. Hope someone out there can help make some suggestions on a zoom lens. I have a Canon EOS 60D, and I'm not happy with the results for my current Canon EF 70-300 lens. I mostly shoot nature, but occasionally shoot inside for events that require a zoom lens. Not sure if I'm just not shooting correctly, or if there's a better lens out there for beginner. Okay, so I looked it up because I'm not a Canon shooter, but the 70-300 lens is a 4 to 5.6 f4 to f5.6 lens.
Right.
That is, I don't know if that's considered mega zoom, but 70-300 is a big zoom, and it's not top of the line lens, but it's an okay lens. But when you're at f4 or f5.6, when you're zoomed in all the way at 300 and you're at f5.6, you're going to need some decent light. If you're trying to shoot indoors right away, you can say that's not going to work very well. f5.6 indoors, you're really going to struggle. You have to boost your ISO really high and just to get anything. So remember, and I've asked this person to actually post some examples so we can look at them and see what is the actual problem you're having. Because remember the rule of thumb that you need to be, your shutter speed needs to be equal to your focal length, at least. Mm-hmm. If you have good hand holding technique and you're shooting at 300 millimeters, then you need a minimum of 1/300th of a second shutter speed. Personally, for me, I need at least 1.5 times. So if I'm shooting a 300 millimeter, and this is without image stabilization going on, that does change things a little bit. If I'm shooting at 300 millimeters, then I need a 450 shutter speed, 1/450 of a second shutter speed. And Ronald out there in chat says the 700 is a good zoom walk-around lens. It's pretty rough to use on moving subjects or inside. That goes back to that. It's going to have a lower shutter speed. If you're like shooting soccer or baseball and it's really bright outside, you can probably get away with that. But watch your shutter speed. It is a decent lens.
Right. Either that or else you're going to have to increase the ISO to get it, but then you're going to have poor pictures on the other side. So it's really meant for bright light.
Generally, on the lens side, the more money you spend, the better you can get. That's why, like on the Nikon side, the Holy Trinity, one of the Holy Trinity lens, that being the best, the three that you should have in your arsenal. The one of them is a 70-200. Lots of people love a 70-200, whether you're on a Canon or Nikon. You have that on Sony also?
Yes, I do.
The 70-200 f2.8. Right. I think they also have an f4, but the f2.8. But you're going to spend $2,000 or so to get that.
Right, without the variable aperture, when it's all the way out to the 200, you can have it down to the 2.8.
Yeah. So I don't have that person's name, but if you would post some examples, let's see what your problem you're having out there in a Facebook group, and we can help you out with that. All right. Last question I have here is I decided to explore options for moving away from CrashPlan. I'd like to use Amazon Prime Unlimited Photo Storage. I haven't found anything recent in this. Okay, we don't need to see all that. Is anyone using? Okay, so what they're saying is they're looking to move away from CrashPlan and go into Amazon's Prime Unlimited. So if you are photo storage, if you are a Amazon Prime member, Tim, are you an Amazon Prime member?
Yes, I am.
Okay, if you're an Amazon Prime member, and if you're not, and you're going to become, make sure you use the JPEG to RAW link first. And before you go there, jpeg2raw.com/Amazon, and then we'll get some credit for that. But if you're an Amazon Prime member, then you get unlimited photo storage, even including RAW and TIFF and all that kind of stuff. The only problem is it's the last time I looked at it, it's very clunky. It's, what you want for a backup solution is something that is automated and set it and forget it type thing, where you tell it, these are the photos to watch. As things are added to them, I want you to upload them to the cloud or to wherever I'm going to have them stored for whatever program I'm using. Personally, I use CrashPlan. I don't have any kind of affiliate with them, so I don't get any money if you do anything there. But I use CrashPlan on all my computers here at home. I use it back up locally and to back up to the cloud. And it's worked great. I've had to restore some files before from local and from the cloud, and it's worked just fine. One of the problems I had with the Amazon thing was I was uploading the folder and the upload app just crashed. So I had to restart it, but you don't know, well, what did it finish?
Yeah, and then mine kept telling me that I had uploaded too much, that I had exhausted all my storage. I'm like, I thought this was unlimited.
Yeah,
so I
haven't
actually
had that problem.
I haven't been to it in a while, and I may go back to it. I also use Google Photos to upload everything. I'm pretty happy with that, even though I think it's supposed to be 16 megabyte or less. You get the full size storage. So that for me as a temporary backup solution, that's fine. I'm also reading that if you own a Google Nexus, they're going to start allowing full original size resolution of all your pictures. And now that would be very exciting because I use a Nexus.
There's so many choices out there. Here's a use case I found for the Amazon photo storage. I think I've mentioned this before in the past, but we've had photographers on here. Kathleen, I think, is one of them, who's our co-host for a while. And what she does is she tells clients, hey, after X amount of time, and that may be years or it may be months, I don't know, I'm going to delete those photos to make room on my server. I'm going to delete those photos. So if you want to order anything, you need to do it by this date. Now, you can still tell your clients that if that's part of your marketing plan and you want to do that, tell your clients that. But I wouldn't really delete those photos. What I would do is use something like Amazon Prime here. You have unlimited storage, move them there, and then delete them off your server. And that way, you're not, it's like, I'm going to move this folder of these images up there. And if something were to go wrong, okay, I've lost them, but I told the client I was going to lose them anyway. If not, I've got them off my computer, I've got them up there, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't look at Amazon Prime as a true backup solution for your photos. You need something like CrashPlan or Backblaze, I think is some of the other ones that people use. Something like that where you have a program just sitting there and backing up your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have, now keep in mind, no matter what you're using, if you're using a cloud-based storage, and you're uploading those files, it's going to take a while if you have a lot of files. Depending on your upload bandwidth, like mine's 5 meg, it took me months and months to get all my stuff up there.
Yeah, it took a while to get a lot of stuff up there, and I have a fast connection compared to you, my upload. So I think I forgot what I'm 80 up and 80 down or something like that.
Even with that, it's going to take you.
Still takes a while.
Depending on the size, yeah. It's going to take you a while to get all that up there. Because I'm not sure you'll be able to get all 80 of your upload if they'll give you that much.
Yeah, they tell you they will, but then you try to do it. It's like...
Here's what I found, because we actually talked to them from the business side, that they don't put any restrictions on the amount you can upload. But because other people are uploading the same time you are, everybody brings it down to a certain level. So we're not stopping you, Tim, from using your 80, but because we got 15,000 other people doing it at the same time, going to the same place, you're really only going to get 10. If you can get those other 15,000 people to stop.
Yeah, but I have that fiber optics, so it's better be giving me this. I'm paying for it. Yeah.
Hey, I just noticed there's another sticker on here. So
on your new camera? Oh, your
I had put. You're not gonna be able to see it because I'm showing the other camera.
That blue sticker?
Yeah, blue sticker right there. This is really meaningless, but I'm gonna show it anyway. There's another one right there. Where's that? Right there.
Oh, because you have the is that because you have the bottom?
Yeah, but this is attached. You can't get it off. Well, I can't get it off. I wonder if that means they did something there. Should I peel it off?
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. What do you think? It's not going to damage the thing by peeling it off. Is that like a Band-Aid they put on there? Like, oops.
There's a little scratch under there. Do not look.
Yeah, we put this here because we didn't want you to see what I did underneath it. I'm going to take one of them off.
Of course you are.
If you remove this, you just voided it. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't come off very easily. Okay, yep, disappointing. It's absolutely perfect underneath it. Nothing under there.
No.
Yeah. No scratch, no anything. I'm not sure what that meant. Yeah, it's very anticlimactic. Like a new release port or something. All right, Tim. We are finishing up early. That's all I had for there. We so I can go over our end of the show stuff unless Tim or not Tim, Ronald or Jimmy has anything they want to ask us. So before we go over the final stuff, I want to talk about something new. 80 Wheeler and I are starting. So in our Facebook group, Tim, we have the monthly photo contest, right?
Correct. Yes.
And when I was talking to ADU about this, I said, I think we've been doing this for like 24 months or something like that. No, it's been 40.
I gotta say, it's gotta be a lot more than that.
It's been 48, 49 months that we've been doing that.
Really? I know we're approaching 5 years in August.
Yeah.
I think it's 5. I don't think it's 6. It's 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
So we started that within a year?
Yeah, I'm going to try and find this.
That I didn't know.
I got to move this off the screen so it doesn't cover you up and everybody doesn't see everything. Come on. What?
That I wouldn't have guessed. Heck, we didn't even realize it was 5 years for us.
All right, so May is the 47th month that we've been running it. Okay? Mm-hmm. We're going for 47 months, and I felt like, hey, we needed... like that. It's been open. It's been with themeless. We've been doing it as an open thing since month 33. So we're actually coming up. We've been doing it for more than a year now as open, and that's allowed more people to contribute and do that kind of stuff. And
right.
I like the theme things, but I think it was sometimes limiting. So you almost wish you can do both. Anyway. I want to add a little bit more to that and give a little bit more back from that. And we don't make a whole lot of money from the links that I showed before, so that, giving prizes is going to be somewhat limited. So what I thought was, hey, let's get maybe AD. And you remember AD's been on the show a number of times. AD is a professional photographer. He can do a review of all the images, unless we start getting too many, then we have to limit it. Of all the images, we'll just do this once a month at whenever AD has time. He'll review all the images that were entered and give some feedback on what's good, what's bad, that kind of thing, from a constructive point of view, so that by entering the contest, not only do you have a chance of winning and whatever that means, but also you get some feedback on how to grow and become a better photographer.
Right.
I don't know about you, Tim, but I'm not sure how much people are learning from my critique. AD is going to give a whole lot better critique than I will give. So be looking. We'll start that, and we're probably going to do them just live on YouTube, on Facebook. We'll do them here live on Facebook, and AD, whenever that is. It won't be a set time, it won't be a set day. We'll just hook up, we'll do it. He'll go over them, and then we'll put it out. Eventually, go on the YouTube channel, we'll have it as its own feed on iTunes and all that kind of stuff. But as a way to help people grow as photographers, and AD is a great resource, and I appreciate him agreeing to do that every month.
That is really good.
Be looking for that. All right. So in closing, let's see. If you came in late, if you left early, whatever it is, the best way to get the show is to subscribe to us. Video is on iTunes, YouTube, and Vimeo. And then you can get the audio on iTunes or Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podomatic, Podbean, and Google Play Music. Get in all those places. And I don't have the iPad down here with me, Tim, but I do have my Android phone. So, I've shown this on the iPad last time. I'm going to show it this time on my phone. But you can get the there's a lot of glare there, but you can get the show through our app, using either the iTunes store or the Google Play store, whatever it is. Get the app. What you're looking at here is the video feed from YouTube, and you can see already, I'm starting to go to sleep there, number 173 with Riley from last week. There it is right there. You can get that on Google Play or iTunes. And if you can't remember how to get it, over on our website, I've made a nice little link right up here in the top, upper left-hand corner, Google Play App Store. Click on those. That'll take you right there to get the show. The app. Either way, that's a good way to stay up to date and see that. If you don't want to subscribe to one of the other ways I just mentioned, you can do that. As we mentioned before, Tim and I think somewhere middle or late June, be celebrating 5 years of the show. Just absolutely incredible. We'd love to have you come out and join us in our Facebook group, which is probably the most active of our groups. Is go out there into groups/JPEG to Raw on Facebook and join us there, where we have over 1,700 members in that group, right, Tim? And yes. Join in the monthly photo contest. I don't think I have a web page here with the group. I'll tell you what. How do I get to that? Facebook? Nope. Haha, I can't log in. All right. So that won't work.
1,731 members.
1,731 members. All right. And, we mentioned AD doing the monthly review with us. He also does a annual, for the past 2 years, or at least, he's done the annual review where we do give out prizes. And those prizes are made available by using our Amazon link, JPEG to Raw/Amazon. And if you go there and use that link before you go shopping at Amazon, I was trying to get my web page pulled up. How do I go backwards? I don't know how to go backwards. If you use that link before you go shopping on Amazon, once you put it in your cart, it's too late. So you got to go there beforehand. So if you're going to buy something,
are you sure? I got to send you a list of what I buy, because I go into it all different ways, and I hope you get credit.
Once you put it in a shopping cart, I got to get rid of that. Once you put it in a shopping cart, it's already done. So if you And I think the cookie lasts for a little while. So if you went there like the day before, it might have done it or something. But if you haven't been there in a few days, it won't count. And if you forget, what is that link again? Well, just go to our webpage. Right at the top is a little link that says Amazon. You click that. And let's see if it works here. There you go. It takes you right to Amazon. And now you do your shopping as usual. You can search for whatever you want. I wasn't searching for dresses. I have not started wearing dresses, especially not that size. And it doesn't cost you anything extra.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's good about that. We do have the Topaz Labs affiliate also that you can use. jpegtoraw.com/Topaz. I'm not sure Haven't had any action on that in a long time, so I'm not sure how much action that's getting, how many people are really looking at it. But if you're going to buy Topaz Labs, I have the full thing. I bought it myself. If you're going to use that, just use our link. There is a link on our webpage, too. You can do that. And then the forums, my absolute favorite thing. I love the forums. I know Tim doesn't. Tim is never out there. But look at all this gorgeous information. Tim, you know what? You know what? I even have, if you come down here to podcast episodes and click on this, every one of the shows, look at that, just show after show after show after show. So if you want, what does it look like? You go into here, boom, and a link to the show notes. It just says a little thing, the YouTube video, and then you can comment down below. I'm not logged in, so I can't right now. Comment down below and say, "Great episode, Mike. Loved it. Can't wait for the next one."
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to say. You can also check the calendar. You can check, other things here. Let's see, and all kind of different groups you can post in. I did something in infrared, didn't I? Yeah. Live pixel camera returned. I posted. Here's the photo of my camera being returned. Isn't that exciting? I did something else I wanted to show you in here. Is it here? Here in the height of things, I'm not going to be able to find it. Am I?
Because you're trying to look for it, you never find it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, here it is. Okay. Can you see this top photo?
Yep.
This is the scene as it looked, taken with the Nikon. Not sure what I shot this. Either the D100 or the D2X. Just normal, middle of the day shot. Not interesting whatsoever. It's just, there's nothing there that is exciting. Right? This is the same shot, a little bit different framing, shot with infrared and processed one way. And this is the same shot, same time of day, not the same shot, but same time of day, processed a different way. Those are infinitely more exciting and more appealing than that.
Yeah, you're right. That's a bore.
There's absolutely nothing there.
You know what the funny thing is? You look at the top photo and you say to yourself, you should never have the water line right in the middle of the picture. But when you look at the two infrared pictures, it doesn't bother you nearly as much.
Yeah. It doesn't.
What a difference it makes.
So that's why I'm excited about having my camera converted to infrared. Just a world of difference. All right, enough of that. Let's get rid of that. So that's what you're missing by not going out to the forums, Tim. Interesting posts like that. All right, well, that'll be it for tonight. We'll head into the post show here in just a second. But that'll be it for the recorded version. We'll see you again next week, hopefully. Until then, keep it raw. Good night, everybody.
Good night.